Hi guys. Let's just take a deep breath. Inhale deeply. Just allow yourself to be present at this moment.
May the grace of God be with you always in your heart. May you know the truth inside you from the start. May you find the strength to know you are right. Part of something beautiful.
Just take a deep breath.
May the grace of God be with you always in your heart. May you know the truth inside you from the start. May you find the strength to know you are right. Part of something beautiful.
Just connect your feet through the earth. Feel presence. Inhale, feeling love filling up your lungs. Exhale, relaxing, letting go all the tensions. Welcome again for our encounter every Wednesday at 1:30 Cancun time. This is Shirayam and we are here meeting again. Thank you so much. This beautiful song from Alexi Murdoch called Something Beautiful, so you guys can find him. And welcome everybody to this moment where we connect to our hearts, to our soul, to our practice, to our self-awareness. I'm talking from Mallorca, this beautiful island in Spain, all the way to the world, and especially thanking Cerca Sandra for opening this space with Dharma News for us to connect with you guys through teaching, learning, sharing, connecting every Wednesday. We have been doing this for almost 2 months now through lockdown in Spain, through lockdowns in the world, and I received so many messages from you thanking and feeling inspired and taking care of your practice, taking care of yourself. So this minute to thank you for your presence, for your practice, for your openness, and for yourself allowing your heart to open and be inspired by everything that we are delivering, bringing here for you guys. So welcome everybody. Today we're going to talk about a topic that I am lately fascinated to study about it. A lot of things we feel, we experience, we go through the world receiving these emotions, feeling these emotions sprouting in ourselves, connecting to other people with these emotions. And then sometimes, when we study these emotions through science, and when we see these researchers that are coming out lately, I have been researching and studying a lot about positive psychology, the science of happiness. And this week I got myself thinking, when would we think that we would have to stop and study and allow happiness to become a science? It shows that at some point we got so lost and so disconnected from our natural self. But now the world is bringing every time more and more happiness as a science. And it breaks down into little bits of practices that we can do so we can, enjoy this brief period that we have called life, fully. So we don't waste our time not understanding why do we feel a certain way and not knowing how to deal with our sadness, with our fears, with our anger, but also dedicating time to practice, to be more intimate with ourselves, to knowing how to swim, how to surf to those emotions that sometimes, take a token on us. And as well on practicing simple things to remind ourselves what are the habits that brings us real happiness? What are the habits that brings us real peace, inner peace? What are the habits that support us to feel more connected and to walk through life more openly and surrendered to everything that is happening, and with the intention and awareness and consciousness to be open? So today we're going to talk about kindness. This week that I have, this past few months that I have researching, studying about happiness and positive psychology, one of the words that I have been practicing more consciousness and also as a goal, it's called kindness. And I have been doing a practice that I wanted to share with you guys that made me feel so enchanted and happy of finding such an easy tool to connect deeper with happiness and to support the society that we live in as a community. So today we're going to talk about kindness. Kindness is one of the arts and one of the habits and one of the disciplines that different studies suggest for us to practice so we can develop long, life-lasting happiness. And the study of acts of kindness had brought values information. So sometimes our ego, he wants to justify, kindness, I don't have time for kindness, and I feel bad and depressed and disconnected from the others, and kindness has nothing to do with it. So sometimes different sides of our brain needs different stimulations, so we feel engaged in this practice. So kindness, right? In sometimes, once I was giving a seminar in Brazil, a training called How to Deal. Wow, I remember this was amazing. How to deal with catastrophes in the world. It was a moment that some countries had passed through earthquakes, another through hurricanes in the same year, and there was a hail rain in Brazil, very strong. And we were in this group, around 50 people, talking about what catastrophes brings to us sometimes, right? It was isolated catastrophes, but we all saw it through TV. And now that I think of it, and we're in the middle of this world pandemic moment, it matches also to this very moment now. And one of the things that we were discussing in the seminar when we were doing our debate and doing the exercise with the participants on this specific retreat was how amazed we were with the kindness and how people really open up on these moments of tragedy in a way that they never had opened up before. I remember in the city where, there was people offering showers, like, you want to come to my home, and posting on social media. I have 3 mattresses in the living room and you guys can come if you have no roof where to go. You can come and sleep here. You can come and take a shower. You can come. It was this small town, and this very strong kind of tornado came through these 2 cities of Brazil, and the roofs of 40% of that city were taken out, and people got together and they were, rebuilding the homes together. And now through the pandemic, I have seen people going outside and bringing food and feeding people on the streets and making videos and connecting, really. So then the first thing is to ask ourselves, what kind of situations and moments awake kindness on ourselves? What does awake kindness on ourselves? What is to be kind? What is kindness to you, right? Just to repeating the word, I feel so touched right now about kindness, because it's such a powerful sensation that we receive when we are kind from ourselves to ourselves and from the world that support us. I feel that acts of kindness is like this secret way that we have to heal the planet. Sometimes it's open and everybody sees it. Sometimes the person who you're being kind with sees that you're doing it. Sometimes it's anonymous, but in this, doesn't matter how it is, we always feel connected and we feel that we're part of the healing. So then, what is kindness, right? What is the act to be kind? And for me, going inside and thinking and feeling, I felt if I would draw kindness, it was a door in a heart. And I feel that when we are kind, we open that door on ourselves and in another human being. So every time I'm thinking about kindness and what image would I draw for kindness, I feel this heart and this door. And when we are kind, it's like when we open the door of our heart and we knock on the other person's door and we tell them it's safe to open, because we are here open ourselves as well. So kindness. And from last week, I gave myself this task of doing one act of kindness every day for 10 days. And it has been a beautiful experience, and we're going to talk about here today. And I would suggest 2 acts of kindness, and thank you. I would suggest 2 acts of kindness, and I will also bring you some scientific information, because sometimes we need to be convinced from both sides, the science, the rational brain, and also the one that connects with the heart. So I have been reading about the studies on the journal, Psychology Journal, and they were talking about this study, very interesting, that they did in the Great Britain with 86 people. They divided these 86 people in 3 groups. They all asked these people to fill up this questionnaire about being happy, about, feeling happiness. And for one group, it was asked them for 10 days to do an act of kindness. For the second group, it was asked for them to do something new. And for the third group, it was asked for them to do anything at all. So after the 10 days, they got back together with these 3 groups, and they found out that nothing had changed for the group that did nothing at all. A little thing has changed for the group that did something new. But the group that did acts of kindness for 10 days, they reported that they felt amazing happiness and contentment and well-being, and that they felt connected and motivated. So they were like, wow. And then all this research that there is all over the world about kindness. Another research was done at the Harvard Business School, and they pull up a lot of students, and they told them, please think about I'm going to ask this to you guys right now. Please think about the last time that you spent $20 or $50 on yourself. Just stop a moment now and please think, when was the last time that you spent $20 or $50 on yourself? Maybe you want to write it down. It was when. When was it? What did you invest on yourself? Oh, it was in an online seminar. For me, it was like in an online seminar. It was in the plants that I got this week to put on my garden that I can see it from here. Maybe it was a body lotion, a vegan, eco-friendly body lotion. Maybe it was a massage you took at the time they were still touching each other. Like right now, maybe or not so much. So think about the last time you invested this money on you. And then they asked the group, now thinking, I ask you guys to do this with me now. Please think about the last time you invested $20 or $50 in another person. Remember, when you invested $20 or $50 in another person, right? So go inside right now and feel it. When was it? What did you do for that person? And observe what you feel, right? I have been so touched by kindness. Sorry guys, it's gonna be a wet life. And so they did this research with this group, and then the group fill up the questionnaire. And after, filling up before and after the questionnaire, when I spent it on myself, they were very happy. They were like, some people said, oh my God, I have not been kind on that matter. with myself for a long time. I had not given me any gift or a special treat for me in a long time. I had to take a look at that. Other people say, oh my God, I remember these beautiful things I got to myself, experiences or things, and wow, that's so good that I'm treating myself well and nurturing myself in different ways. And then when people thought and remembered, when was the last time they invested this money in other people, they reported to feel much more happier. And not only that the happiness they felt lasted longer. And then it was amazing because they kept on going with the study with the Business Harvard School with this group of people. And they said, okay, we're going to give you now $100 for every single one of you. Where would you like to spend it? And the majority of the group, their first reaction was to invest in someone else, not on themselves. And when we go towards kindness that way, we open the door of our heart, and then we knock at the door of the heart of another person, and our hearts, they open. And that's what makes us feel belonged and united, and this togetherness and this empathy and this compassion that, there's another science studying compassion, and this energy that can heal anything. So then I went through so many different studies, and I saw, wow, it's amazing how this acts of kindness can really transform the way we perceive something so normal. Maybe from some of us, we are used to be kind and to do acts of kindness out of, we learned from our parents and our grandparents, and our family had the culture maybe to do acts of kindness for each other, right? And when we just didn't notice that it was so important. So if we are on that team, then you can know that it's very important. And it's very important for our heart, for our emotions, for our health, and for the others, and for our emotional intelligence, and for our structure to walk in life. And then today I brought to you 17 points, 17 suggestions where you can do your act of kindness. Suggestion number 1 for you to practice acts of kindness, because I'm gonna suggest right now, the first thing is that we walk together in this exercise that I have been doing to do an act of kindness for 10 days. It doesn't matter if we regularly do, if you already do something that you consider act of kindness every day, you just add an extra more and you participate for this 10 days challenge. So we can walk on this together. So the first act of kindness that we need to pay attention is the act of kindness towards ourselves. Is to observe and ask if we are being kind to ourselves later. And then we can sit and do a healing list, like a healing list. I see Abirami here and my heart melts because she's the kindest, beautiful soul I ever met. So then we're gonna go through this healing list that you can do these acts of kindness to ourselves. So write it down in which ways you think you need to be kinder to yourself. You can go, how can I be kinder to myself mentally? What are the things that I need to be kinder with myself in my mind? Maybe it's coming out of self-attack. Next Wednesday, we're going to talk about self-attack and self-bullying. It's going to be at the Dharma News Instagram. We're going to let you guys know. We're going to talk specifically about self-bullying, okay? So here we goes the connection with this, what we are talking right now. So act of kindness towards ourselves. Take a look and do a list on which ways you can be kinder to yourself. Mentally, the things that we tell ourselves, our inner dialogue, in which way can we change that? We're going to talk about it next week. Emotionally, how can we be kinder to ourselves? Physically, how can we be kinder to ourselves? Maybe we need to exercise more or just go to bed before 10 p.m. and relax. Or maybe we want to take long showers with a song. Or maybe we want to do a self-massage. Maybe we want to sleep 7 hours, 8 hours, just sleep more. Maybe we want to do, which ways we can be kinder to ourselves. Maybe not working after working time, maybe worrying less about the future, maybe be kinder to myself will be taking therapy, taking care of resentments that are piling up, and I observe that I cannot deal with them with myself. Asking for help can be an act of kindness to ourselves. Eat healthier, read an incredible book, watch a live that touches your heart. So the first act of kindness, it needs to be towards ourselves. Otherwise, we get into places that we are so tired and wasted and disconnected through our own needs. And if we're going to serve others and be kind to others out of that space, we are just wearing ourselves out and dragging ourselves on the floor and hurting ourselves while we think we are helping others. So this is the first act of kindness that we're going to practice. The second one, about being kindness with ourselves, the second suggestion will be seek peaceful entertainment. Seek peaceful entertainment. It's a very, very deep act of kindness. A lot of times we are entertaining ourselves with things that makes us feel stressful, anxious, disconnected. Maybe we are watching movies that do not represent our principles and values. Maybe we are watching more violence, and this is not something that is entertaining our soul. Maybe it has been a long time that we are not meditating or reading, or maybe we are not doing any sort of art. We are not painting, we are not doing embroidery, maybe we are not cooking, maybe we are not singing. Remember the other live that I asked us, what makes your heart sing? So seeking for peaceful entertainment is an act of kindness to ourselves, into the bringing awareness to what kind of entertainment will bring us more peace, right? So that's the second one for today. Third one, let's practice kind communication. Let's practice kind communication. So it can be starting through the inner dialogue, the things that we are telling ourselves about ourselves, our inner judgments, our inner forgiveness, and also extending that kind of kindness communication through others. Starting with our family at home, sometimes if we observe ourselves being harsh with someone, at the moment that our self-observer, we spoke about the self-observer in our last encounter, in the moment that our self-observer tells ourselves, hey, you're being harsh with this person, you can right there remember, I'm practicing kindness and I can be kind with my communication. And right there you can apologize. I'm so sorry. I just noticed that I'm being harsh to you and I didn't mean that. I'm just being irritated. I'm sorry. I think everything is getting to me and it's not fair for me to unleash it on you. So maybe you want to be kind in your communication. When you go and order your food over the phone and you say, guys, thank you so much for delivering this food for us right now in this moment. Please be safe. Maybe you're walking through, you're going to a supermarket and, right now in Spain, we've been 3 months locked down. We're unable to leave the house. And once a week, we'll go to supermarket. And my husband and I were not allowed by law to go together to the same supermarket. So he'll walk this way and I'll go to another grocery store. And I always made a point to, that person, that cashier that is right there, risking her life and her health just to serve us. I felt so kind, she didn't opt out and she was there and, it was important to the community. So I felt every time I just look her in the eye with the mask and I say, thank you so much for being here for us. And, we can practice this kind of communication at the coffee shop. As someone that is parking, we park our car in the garage in the corner. We always have this hello and this joke and this thing to the guys, the team that take care of this parking, they're such a cool guys, you know. You can pass by and mind your own business, but you can always stop and just wave. And I know my husband does that so much, and I learned this with him, this happy wave, and it touches, it's kind, and it's good for your heart. And you do it, you know, maybe you're gonna start doing it as a practice, and then it's gonna become natural to you. So practice number 3 of kindness, just have kind communication towards yourself, towards the people around you, and also in social media. Really, really wow. If in social media you still have in your heart to go harsh at someone, to bully someone, to be racist, or to do any kind of comment, I just want to let you know that you're so obsolete and so lost. And I'm going to send you so much love, because if love touches your heart deeply, you would never do such a thing again, you know. We love in our hearts, we would never be unkind with another person. So really, when you go to social media, you know, we need to think, what do we want to add to this world? If we really want to add more suffering and more pain and more hate, or if we want to add justice and love and kindness. So you have that option in your communication too. You as a human being, part of this community called Planet Earth, you're so powerful. You have so many possibilities. So I'm just lining up some for us to practice together, so you know, one day maybe you're not feeling too creative, then you can pull up this list and remind ourselves that you can be kind in so many different ways. Number 4, act of kindness as a suggestion. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention while you are talking to other people, to really listen to this person. Pay attention to what someone is asking you. Pay attention when you are walking on the streets to not bump into anyone because you're lost on your phone. You know, I did that too, walking around looking at my phone, reading a message, or, you know, so to pay attention, this practice to pay attention around, to be kind, you know, to not bump into people, to not connect through the eyes, to not listen because we are doing something else while the other person is talking. And, you know, if someone is talking, especially if you're talking something about their life, it's important for them, you know, it's a part of their life and they chose to share that with you. So I think it's a little bit sacred, you know, to pay attention and to listen. I'm so emotional today. Kindness really hit me deep this week. So here we are. And pay attention to when you are listening to a message, someone send you a message through WhatsApp, and you're listening to this message, to pay attention if you answered back. If we are running around, sometimes I put in the list, answer this person, answer the other one, and I put in the list to just reply back and to let them know that I paid attention to what they sent me, and I feel it feels fine in my heart, and it's also a practice of kindness to us, right? So exactly. People can always tell if we're disconnected. People feel. If we are not fully present, thank you so much, NYC, people will feel it. So, you know, it's nicer if we show up entirely. Then we have practice number 5 of being kindness. Let the other person talk. This is also about kind communication. You know, we will be surprised when we don't pay attention how much we interrupt the other person when the other person is talking. It's so subtle sometimes. We just, you know, the ego overwrites it, you know. Ego just go on top of it and interrupts the other person, and we have this thought of, oh, I already know what this person is going to say. Oh, this person is being repetitive. Oh, this person is, oh, I felt that so many times. I don't know if you connect. Especially if someone is explaining something to me and then she goes over and over again, and my mind goes like, okay, this is the 3rd time, and I feel my heart shutting down and not being kind. So I feel like this urge to interrupt and to say, I got it. Yeah, you know, yeah, you already told me. So sometimes when I manage to be present and be in the practice of kindness, I just allow the person to talk and give that person space and time, offer my time and my heart and presence, and just, you know, notice that's the way this person communicates at this moment. She's explaining to me the same thing for the third time. Maybe it's very important for her, for me to understand. And you know, also, once I noticed this person was telling me something about something, explaining me something about something. And then I noticed that the person, a week later, 2 weeks later, told me again, and the third time told me again. And then I asked myself, but do you remember with every single detail what this person explained about it since the first time? And I realized I didn't. I didn't remember the details. So I felt, well, that's why God is asking this person to tell me the same thing 3 times, because I don't remember, I'm not holding the information. So paying attention, it's a great act of kindness. It's a gift. It's an act of love. And you know, also if we act that way, I think what goes around comes around. Maybe in a moment that you really need, you will attract people that will really pay attention to what you're saying, to what you're asking, to what you're expressing. And it's very nice also when we feel it coming the other way. So it's good that we give the first step towards that. So acts of kindness. And then number 7, ask questions. It's a beautiful act of kindness when we ask questions to the other person, and we are present listening, and we are present, and we think, how can we learn, you know? Ask question. Maybe this person, you know, when was the last time you made a trip? What was the most beautiful place you went in a trip? Like, I would say, I remember last time I went to Holbox in Mexico, and we were walking that sand, and I was swimming with whale sharks on whale shark season. It was amazing. Or we were walking on Holbox at night, and there was the bioluminescence, I think it's called in English, when it shines, you know, and the water in the beach, it gets bright blue, and it's amazing. So maybe you ask, you know, a couple, like, how did you guys meet? And they're married for a long time, or they're together for a long time, and then you ask, how did you guys meet? And it's such a great experience. In my perception, I perceive couples, they light up when they're gonna tell their stories. They light up. They go right there when they met the first time and they were in love, and and they bring that, and it's so beautiful. Or you're gonna ask maybe, how did you survive from? How did you came out of the pandemic? What did you learn in the pandemic? What brought you more peace through all? And then we learn so much. We hear beautiful stories. We go to beautiful places with the people that we ask. So asking questions is also an act of kindness. Practice number 8 of kindness. Be kind on the road. Be kind on the road. It's another practice of kindness, when you're driving, also to allow person to pass by. Sometimes we are in this long line and the car is waiting and waiting, nobody stops and is going slow, and the person is trying to get in, and we all know, we all see it, and we all know how we feel. We feel that we want to get in, and the other person, it's so kind. I don't know if you experience that, but I experience, like, I'm just in driving and I see this person coming in, and I'm not in a hurry. I am present. I see and I feel in my heart, and I do this sign of going in, and I feel like a queen, like I'm giving just a lot to a person. I feel inside of my heart. I just go like this. Or when we stop and ask someone to cross the street, or when someone is parking and we don't rush to take the parking spot, or when we give in a sign in a highway to cross lines, and sometimes we speed up when we see someone wants to go in front of us, then we speed up even more so we don't let this person pass. What's wrong with us? Sometimes we do this. So being kind on the roads, also being kind while we're driving, while we're parking, to be kind and careful if we're opening the door and there is someone out there. Or sometimes also to park not so close. If you have time, this is a practice I like to do when I'm going someplace, to a store somewhere, supermarket, whatever. Sometimes I just feel like this blind kindness, like this practice of doing something not knowing from, I just park somewhere not so close, and I leave the closest spots for someone else. It's just this practice in our heart. Also, being kind on the road is this famous act of kindness that people practice, which is paying the toll to someone that is coming behind. I did that many times, even at the time that we had meters that we put quarters. When the time I was living in Florida, I used to put quarters in parkings that were expired sometimes when I was doing my practices. And I listened to this amazing story this week I want to share with you guys. This lady, she was passing a toll, and she was practicing her kindness, act of kindness, and she paid the toll from the person who was in the back. So what she decided to do is that she got out of the car and approached the car in the back, and she said, "Hi, I just paid your toll. I am practicing acts of kindness. So this is my act of kindness. If you can pass it on at your own way, it's, it's just to say that." And she moved on. She got into her car, and then it was a truck. And then she said she went on driving, and she saw that minutes later this truck start following her, the same guy, and he following her, and then he pulled over and asked her, "Please open your window." And she said, "Okay." The guy was doing like this. She opened the window. It was a man on his 50s or 60s. And he said, "Listen, I want to thank you so much for all you did. I want to share something incredible that happened. Can you give me your phone number?" And she said, "Okay." So she gave him the phone number, and they moved on. He drove, she drove. And then an hour, 2 hours later, he called her. And he said, "I need to tell you what you did. You paid this toll, and you told me." And I felt so touched. So I went to the toll, and I paid the toll from the car in the back. And I walked to the car. It was a family. And I told them, "Hi, guys, I'm doing the act of kindness, and I just paid your toll. So if you can, you can do it too." And the driver broke down crying, and the wife too. And they were in this combi. I don't know how to say combi in English, because it's in Brazil we call combi, it's like a van, And the father said, "I am so grateful for you, because we didn't know how we would pay this toll. We are moving from Bahia to Rio de Janeiro, from the north of Brazil to Rio, to São Paulo. And we have no place to go, and we are looking for a job, and we're so lost." And I saw the toll, and we were counting the pennies, and then we were praying for God, and suddenly you come out of your truck and you approach and you tell me that you're paying for my toll. "I'm so sorry, I'm taking over." And the guy felt so touched, and he said, "Please give me your phone number." And he told this girl, "I drove to São Paulo, I called the people, I asked this guy, what was his talents, what he knew, and I got him a job. And this family has a job because you paid for my toll." And I felt so touched by that. And sometimes these things, they will not appear on TV or in the news worldwide, but we need to trust that this kind of kindness they happen every day, and you can be part of it. We all can be part of it, part of this team of kindness, to be kind and to just stand ourselves a little bit longer towards ourselves first, and then towards other people. So there it goes, this other practice of being kind on the road. So practice number 9 of kindness, suggestions, right? Smile. There is a new smile coming up now, which is the smile when you have your mouth covered, and you have to smile all the way to your eyes. I don't know if you got yourself doing that. I caught myself doing that I do with my eyes so much, the smile with my eyes, because I really want the other person to perceive that I'm smiling, because they cannot see my mouth. So there is this smile, the smile. I'll tell you something about smiling. When you smile, you move over 52 muscles in your face, right? And even if you're faking a smile, this is so beautiful that I learned a few months ago studying about the science of happiness. Even if you're faking a smile, When you do this, you move 52 muscles of your face and you send a message to your brain. And your brain receives the message of the smile and it produces serotonin, dopamine, I don't know which one of those that supports our happiness, just with the practice of smile, even though you're just being polite maybe. So it's a self-support system. So being kind, number 9, smile, you know. Maybe you're gonna be with the windows of your car closed, so without your mask, and you can smile. I have this beautiful video that I used to show in our seminars and our trainings, which was a video made by radio stations in São Paulo, and they decided to say, all the radio stations at the same time said, guys, we're doing this movement, wherever you are right now, listening to us. If you are on the road, if you are on the red light, if you are driving, if you're in the office, if you're, just look to the person on your side and smile to them. And you can see the most beautiful images of people on red lights smiling to each other. And it was a beautiful moment of connection. So this is a very simple and easy and effective technique of kindness for us to practice. Smile, right? Mona Lisa knew about it maybe. So number 11, be thankful and acknowledge others. Be thankful and acknowledge others. So it's another act of kindness, very easy to practice. Acknowledge others, maybe from favors that people did to you like 10 years ago. Yesterday was my little sister's birthday, and I did a post talking about her birthday, and I posted pictures when she came to visit me in Spain. And she came in a time that I needed so much support. I was going through a deep, deep healing. And she came for a month, 30 days with her baby, with my mom. And they all came. And I just, you know, I thanked her so much. And I decided to come back and acknowledge again. So you can do a list of people that you want to thank or to acknowledge their help, their support, their love. And as an act of kindness, just to send a message, I remember today, the day they support me that time, or last week, or today even, and I'm passing by to, you know, to just remember that that was very special to me and I acknowledge that. So that's another act of kindness. Number 12, favors. Do favors. Sometimes, you know, 80% of people who are depressed, they do not ask for help. Isn't that an amazing data? 80% of people who are depressed, they don't ask for help. So when someone asks you for a favor, for me it was one of the, I have to work so much. I had such a hard time of asking for help and asking for a favor. Ooh, I didn't want to bother you. No, I don't want to bother. I don't want to bother. I could be needing so much support, anything. There was a period of my life that I had such a hard time for asking for a favor. If someone said no, oh my God, I was so destroyed. I'm so sorry for asking. You know, I didn't want to bother. It was very, so, you know, I had to learn. So nowadays, when someone asks me for a favor, I take a look inside it. If in my heart is a yes, I really go out there to support. So do favors of, you know, giving people a ride, asking someone, you're going to the supermarket, would you like me to buy something for you in the supermarket? Would you like me to drop something? Sometimes I was going to another country, and I'll ask, you know, for a mom to see her daughter. Would you like send something to your daughter? Or, you know, just, you know, favors. Did you going away, a ride or something? Or if someone asks you, you know, if it's not a yes in your heart and you can adapt in a way that would become a yes in your heart, well, that would be a fantastic act of kindness. Number 13, act of kindness towards nature. Be kind to nature. Be kind to nature. I mean, we all know that we need it, right? Nature needs our kindness. You know, there's so many ways that you can be kind to nature, and you think you're being kind to nature, but in fact, you're being kind to your future, to your family, to your children that are going to be living in this planet after we are gone, to my nephew and my niece, to, you know, the children, the babies that are born. I see so many pregnant women in the streets and babies in the streets, and I think, oh my God, you know, I really want to leave this planet a better place whenever I can. nature-wise, so these new people that are coming can just pick up from where we left and move on to a better place. So being kind to nature, you can, you guys that follow me in my Instagram, Shirayam, I'll put here on the when we pull up on the IGTV, always put my Instagram account. I decided to be kind to nature. I recycle for many years, and you can take a look, in recycle one thing. If you don't, just start with something, whatever you start. Like, do not touch a plastic bag from a store. It's a great beginning to be kind to nature. To plant inside, we have a veranda here in our apartment, and we plant all kinds of stuff. Eggplants, tomatoes, I sprout avocados, I did IGTV about that. So being kind to nature, using biodegradable products, at least in your body, so you don't fill yourself with toxic stuff just because you're not using ecological stuff. Being kind to nature, or planting trees. I guided so many retreats where we would do this surprise to the participants, and we will buy trees, and we make a deal with the place that we rented, and we will plant trees on this place. Sometimes we will do on tree day, we'll talk with the ecology department of the city, and we will adopt a square or a place that we can go with a group and plant trees. And there is this beautiful, beautiful thing that I read about a tradition. I can't recall which country right now. I don't want to misplace the country, but there is a tradition that you plant a tree for every year of your life. So it's a beautiful thing too. My husband and I, we are doing it, and we are planting and counting so we have to plant a tree for our life. And I also want to give you another thing about kindness through nature. I saw this amazing video about this doctor in Brazil that he, for the last 35 years, every time, he's an obstetrician, so every baby that he will bring to this world, he will give the baby to the mom, and before the mom leave the hospital, he will give a tree. So the mom will leave the hospital with the baby and the tree, and he will ask the mom to plant a tree in their home or wherever they could, because that tree was the tree that will grow with their baby. And the video show these people with 10 years old, 15, 30 years old, 20 years old, and the big trees. And they tell this is the tree that the doctor gave my mom when I was born. It was a beautiful act of kindness what he did, and it was kindness toward nature. So if you're an obstetrician out there, there's an idea for you if you want to explore that. And, I want to close today this live with another kind of act, I'm just today like that. Another act of kindness. Before this act of kindness that I want to close today with, I want to talk about all the kindness that we can do towards other people right now. Like, if you never donated resources to any Red Cross, any refugee camp, any, at some time in your life, it will be important to donate somewhere as an act of kindness to institutions that are fighting out there, or to take a look who is donating masks and doing campaigns. Sometimes we think you're beautiful, and sometimes we don't participate. So we need to check on that, as a suggestion. I'll leave that suggestion to you, this invitation, that you can search for the movement that you feel more connected. But, let's not just look and think it beautiful, but do not support the cause in any sense. Because it's important to participate. So take a look in your community, in the social media, where you see people that are doing their part, and you can send a message, say, listen, especially sometimes you want to do Red Cross, or big organizations that are doing things worldwide. Sometimes you want to do something local, but just, an act of kindness to donate resources. Sometimes for you, $10 is nothing. And, if 10,000 people think that $10 is nothing and go there and donate, that's what supports people who are there, doing so much for others to keep on going. So I leave that to you. And I wanted to wrap up with the act of kindness, of forgiveness. It's very hard to walk through life without forgiving, without self-forgiveness, without not looking with us with kindness and look at those mistakes that we thought we did as a mistake and take a moment just to sit down and look at that moment with less judgment and perceive that on that moment on your life that you thought it was the moment you did the biggest mistake of your life, that you regret so much, that you blame yourself, that you feel resentful, that you played over and over your head and you say, why did I do it that way? I should have done it differently. Why I didn't? I will invite you to go there as an act of kindness, of forgiveness, of self-forgiveness, and ask yourself, on that moment, remember that you were acting with the consciousness level that you had on that moment. You were acting believing deeply on your thoughts, believing deeply in what were you thinking. You were acting with this bit of information. You were acting with the intelligence, maturity, the emotional maturity and the emotional intelligence that you had at that moment. You did the best you could have done with the way you were thinking and perceiving reality on that moment. You did the best you could with the consciousness you had on that moment. You did the best you could with the maturity you had on that moment. You gave it all. If you could have done better, you would have. If you could have done differently, you would have. But you just didn't have the consciousness enough. So look at yourself with that innocence, with that compassion, with that self-forgiveness to that moment that you think was the biggest mistake of your life. And work on your self-forgiveness right there. Is one of the biggest acts of kindness, is to forgive yourself for things that you are asking yourself to act like Jesus, like Buddha, like someone enlightened, and you're just yourself, human being, trying to do the best you can with the consciousness you have every single moment. And then after that, as an act of self-forgiveness, do a list, a healing list of everything that you learned from that situation. And notice if that situation appeared again in your life in the exact same way, you would never act the same because you learned. And it's called the school of life. And if we be kind to ourselves and forgive this self, we're going to talk about self-bullying next week. And you forgive and we see ourselves with good eyes and we forgive ourselves, then we also will be able to practice more and more the act of forgiveness as a kindness to others. We'll perceive more where they were coming from. We'll find different ways to talk, to express, to heal, and we will act through forgiveness also as an act of kindness. So guys, thank you so much for being together today. I hope everything I felt in my heart could have touched your heart so deeply, because kindness is such a muscle of a free, unlimited actions that we can do. If I can send you thousands of options. Today I just give it a glimpse. If you want also to send us your act of kindness that you would like us to, to talk about, to feel it, to share, to give ideas to other people, we are here for you. And thank you so much, Serka Sassandra and Abirami, because we've been together through 2 months of lockdown, just giving more and more through this platform to people. And we are moving to a different platform that's going to be dedicated only to self-awareness, to consciousness, to self-healing, to forgiveness. And Cassandra put up this team together with amazing people that we're all preparing content just to deliver it to you in the way that we are doing now. So enjoy it. If you liked this live today, please send to a lot of people so a lot of people can practice kindness. And I hope you start today your 10 days challenge of kindness. because then we will be connected also through this movement. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day from my heart to yours.